A new survey from UW-Oshkosh sounds the alarm for some Wisconsin fire departments. Some report struggling to keep up with increasing demands.
More than 10% of fire departments in our state say they've had at least one instance in the last year where it couldn't respond to an emergency call. In our First Alert update tonight, Emily Riley shares how fire departments in our area say they're trying to deal with these challenges.
Fire service is kind of like brakes on a car. You tend to notice if you have an issue and nobody shows up.
Half of the state's fire chiefs report they lack needed financial resources. The responses come from 192 fire chiefs across the state of Wisconsin in a recent UW-Oshkosh survey. And not only are there less full-time and volunteer firefighters, the number of calls have increased. Fire departments in northeast Wisconsin, like Algoma Fire and Rescue, say they're facing some of these issues firsthand.
As far as our fire department, I know right now we're as low of membership as we've been in decades.
Fire Chief Thomas Ackerman says he's requested additional funding but hasn't been able to secure it.
The state budget and the federal budgets, I think, would be a huge impact to small rural departments with additional fundings.
UW-Oshkosh researchers have proposed some solutions, including special purpose fire districts, to cover areas larger than just a municipality's boundaries. Such districts already exist in states such as Illinois and Indiana.
There's an ever-expanding need for our services and always different things added to our service.
Chief Ackerman hopes the survey will spark important conversations about the resources fire departments need to continue to serve the community. In Algoma, Emily Riley, Action 2 News.